It's dropped under 500k. It's at Rampage levels, but how low will the AEW Collision ratings go? Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. The ratings are in for the July 1st, 2023 edition of AEW Collision, and they are not good. The show drew 452,000 viewers. That is shocking. That's a terrible rating. That is more than 350,000 viewers less than the premiere just a few weeks ago. What has happened here to AEW Collision? It got a 0.13 rating, in the P18 to 49 demographic. Now, the only thing you can come to the defense of this show was that it was taped. And that's pretty much it. Now, Money in the Bank was also on Saturday. Now, you can argue, does that help the rating or does that make the rating worse? Maybe people got too sick of wrestling. Maybe Money in the Bank was too much for people and they didn't want to sit through another 2 hours of wrestling. Or you could argue that maybe because wrestling was on a Saturday and people were going to watch Money in the Bank, then that means that they're going to watch AEW Collision. So there's multiple ways you can look at it. But the point is here that this rating is getting worse and worse and worse. And I think this was to be expected because, let's be real, it's on a Saturday night. It's not a good time slot. As the song for Collision might say, Saturday night is alright for fighting, but it's not alright for sitting in and watching wrestling. It's just not. Most people won't do it. And I think this is showing. It really is showing. And I don't expect this rating to get any better. I know it's taped. I know this show was delayed. I know people knew the results and whatnot. But I don't see Collision massively improving on this. Do I think that they could maybe equal out above 500,000? Possibly. But I don't see them getting anywhere near the premiere episode again. In all honesty, I think that if they can get between 500 and 600,000, I think that will be a good rating for Collision going forward. I just don't think Saturday night was a good night for them to put this show on. Now, could they change it? Of course. I think that might be the best bet for AEW. Why not change it? What night? Let's talk about it. What nights can they go on? Friday's not a good night, and they pretty much can't do Friday anyway because you've got SmackDown and Rampage. Now, you could argue they could move Rampage, but I just don't think that's a good option personally. Now, the only thing is, if they move Rampage, then you're going on after SmackDown, so you get the people that are tuning in to SmackDown, they can maybe tune into Collision. But nah, for me, I don't think Friday is a good night. Thursday, possibly. If they moved to Thursday, would this screw over Impact Wrestling? Yes, it probably would. But I think Thursday is probably a good option for AEW because people will probably choose to watch Collision over Impact. It's just a fact. They can't put it on Wednesday because they've got Dynamite on Wednesday. I mean, they could put it on Tuesday, I guess, and go to war again with NXT. But going to war with NXT probably runs the risk of losing viewers as well. So Tuesday might not be the best night. What about Monday night? No, that can't happen either because of Monday Night Raw. And obviously, they can't do Sundays because of pay-per-views. Pay-per-views are Sundays. And another thing, AEW did do some pay-per-views on a Saturday. So I guess with AEW Collision now, that means they're pretty much ruling out any pay-per-views on a Saturday, and all their pay-per-views going forward will be on Sunday. So yeah, interesting, guys, to see what happens with the ratings. I think this is what we can expect. This is going to be the norm for AEW Collision. And CM Punk, I mean, he might be the biggest draw that AEW have, but he's not big enough to get them to start doing massive numbers on a Saturday night. That's just not going to happen. So I'm sure Tony Khan must have knew this. I mean, people must have knew this. You just wouldn't put a wrestling show on a Saturday night. It just doesn't make any sense. A weekend, most people want to go out on the weekend. Most people want to do other things on the weekend. You've got, what about when college football and all this stuff starts back? I think this is going to be a really bad time slot for AEW, to be honest. And I think they could regret this big time. For me, not a good idea for AEW Collision to be on this Saturday time slot. And speaking of Collision, we had House of Black come out and Malachi Black talked about the group status with the company, and he says that the group will be strictly on Collision going forward. He said, I don't want people to get to pick. I want it to be Saturday night, because if House of Black are on every Wednesday, Friday and Saturday, you're going to go, it doesn't really matter. I'll tune in whenever. They'll be there. I don't want to lose the polish. So that's what Malachi Black said regarding the positioning of House of Black in AEW. So it looks like House of Black are going to be solely on Collision going forward. So interesting there. Should they just do a brand split maybe? I'm not too sure. Why not? Like, if they're going to have separate people on separate shows, you may as well do a brand split. But I guess they want to keep the option open for people to move to different shows and different nights of the week. So, yeah, whatever, guys. Look, terrible rating for AEW Collision. I don't see it getting much better, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It was a tape show, so maybe give it the benefit of the doubt. Next week, though, I'd expect it to go up, but I don't think it'll go up massively. Will they get above $500,000? Maybe. But that might be about as good as it gets. Anyway, guys, that's it. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one. And until then, peace.